Hi there, in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to work with the script editor. Now this is a fairly daunting thing to actually look at. A lot of the times people just leave it in the corner of Maya where it belongs, but I'm going to show you why it's useful and why you should not ignore it because it is actually quite useful. So we're going to go down here to the script editor in the bottom right hand corner, click that button. You'll notice that it brings up a nice little menu here. Now the script editor, what that'll do is it is pretty much just in script form saying exactly what's going on in the scene. So if I create a cube, then that'll all come up within the script editor. You'll notice that it even picked up when I clicked on creating the cube to begin with. So if I click that again, you'll notice it comes up there too. And I can just create another cube and create cubes all day. But what I can do as well is I can copy this by hitting Control-C and then pasting it inside this Mel editor. Mel is the programming language of Maya. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select those and hit delete. And what I've done is I've saved this code, which was the actions that I did before while I created them. So if I come here and hit enter, you'll see that it actually recreates that last cube that I made. And I mean, that's great and all, but it doesn't seem very practical. So that's all good and all. It's recreated what I've just done. Seems a little bit useless, but I'm going to show you how that can actually be practical. So what I'm going to do is delete out this, and I'll come to Edit and Clear All. Over here in the view box, I'm going to delete that, and Script Editor, being a script editor, has recorded my every command here, so I'm going to clear that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is show you how it can be used practically. So I'm going to create a NURBS curve here, and I'm going to hit the G key to allow me to do that again. And so I've got two NURBS spheres, and I'm going to call one the master CTRL. And then the second one, I'm going to call that the offset CTRL. Okay, so these are basic sort of names that I will use within my own rigs. But just for the purpose of this tutorial, you can put in anything you like. I'm just using something that I can remember. So I'm going to select both of those and go Edit, Delete by Type History, just to keep everything clean. Now we're going to leave the translates and all the information in there because that's actually quite useful to what we're going to be doing. And here in the script editor, I'm going to go Edit, Clear All. Now, what we are going to aim to do is, this is our master control, and this is our other control or anything else that we've created. I'm going to put it on some odd angle. Again, I'm going to clear the history, but what I want it to do is to have this offset control be exactly in line with this master control. So what I'm going to do is select the master control and then shift select the offset control. I go constrain, and if we go to parent constraint and hit the option box, I'm just going to reset my settings here. These are the default Maya settings, but for this example, we're not going to maintain the offset. If you click maintain offset, it will keep both objects exactly where they are. But what we're doing is we're constraining everything from this offset control, so all the translates and all the rotates, and then constraining it and then making them exactly the same as this master control. So we're going to go add. What that's done is that's set all these constraints in here, and so that means that wherever the master control goes, the offset control will actually follow. But we don't want the offset control to have all these constraints on it. So we need to clean that up. So if we go back to constrain, go to remove target, then now that's all nice and clean, and the offset control has the same rotations and translates as the master control. Now this is a very handy way of getting things to line up exactly, but there's a lot of steps involved, and quite frankly I don't think I could be bothered going through all of that every single time I wanted to set up an offset controller. So what I did is I went back to the script editor and see where it's recorded all our moves here. We don't need to get the selection commands here because we want that to change each time. But what we do want is the rest of this code. So I'm going to highlight that, Control C, and then Control V. Now what that will allow me to do is to get this object, and I'm just putting it in a random place, and I'll even change this one up too. And then what you can do is you click the parent, shift click the child, and then you can highlight this bit of code that we've just isolated and hit enter, and it will snap the child to where the parent is. And you can do this with anything. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to make ball. Let's just chuck it over there. So we hit the parent, we hit the child. That's probably not the most politically correct thing to say. Come back over to our script editor and hit enter, and you'll notice that the ball has been snapped to the position of the master control. And this is great, but the thing is you'd need to set up this code each time, which is a bit annoying. Because I use this a lot for rigging, and a lot of the rigging tools can be found in the animation tab, I'm going to go over here and actually create my own custom button for it. So what I'm going to do is, over in this right hand side you've got your shelf editor, the left hand side, I'm sorry. Okay, it'll bring up this little box here. We've got the animation shelf, and we want to create, this is the create new item button. So we're going to create a new one, and we're going to call that, I like calling this script Sniper, because that's sort of what it does. So we've created our new little button. I'm going to just knock this down. You can see actually up the top here, this is the button that I've created, and I'm just pushing it down the list so that it comes up at the end. Now you can come along and create a nice little button for it. We can actually come along and icon label, and we can type in Sniper there. And we can tooltip, we'll just keep on putting in Sniper once I learn to type properly. And so after that's all set up, you can come along to the command, and you see that it's got the Mel script selected here. So we're going to get rid of that, come back to our script editor, copy this script and place it here. And then, so once we've got all that how we want it, we might actually just give it a funky little color, make it red, make it stand out a bit. Then we'll go with Save All Shelves. And so what that does is this creates this lovely little button that allows us to get an item. So selecting the parent, shift select the child, and hit the button, and it will perform that command. Now the thing is, I use this script a lot, but you can use the script editor to copy out any set of procedures. If you're finding that you're creating a lot of something that's in exactly the same way, what you can do is follow what it does in the script editor, copy it out, and then make it into a button. It's really useful that way to be able to just make your workflow that much easier, and it'll save you a lot of time, and it's also just stops you from going mildly insane as well. So that's how the script editor can be useful in terms of creating buttons and things like that, and I'm going to leave you to it now. Cheers.